Let's talk about body image in adolescence. If you had to guess if body image in adolescence was better than when you were younger or worse, what would you guess? A lot of you are probably thinking, oh yeah, it probably goes down. It's probably pretty bad. And you are correct. So a body image, this is how you view your own body. It's kind of like self-esteem, but specific towards your body, your bodily characteristics. Kind of like, are you satisfied with your body shape and size? Body image kind of plummets in adolescence. It's very common to be dissatisfied or even disgusted with the body as it goes through these typical changes, but sometimes unwelcome changes. And so what we see is for females, body image often takes the form of wishing you were thinner or smaller. For males, it usually takes body image when it is low. It usually takes the form of wishing that they were more muscular, more buff, or are people saying swole these days? Yeah, I know it's cringy or whatever the right term is for me to say that, but you know what I'm saying. You know, the males want to be bigger, the females want to be smaller typically. Risks are that males may be tempted to try things like anabolic steroids. With your females, the risk is that they might get engaged in dieting. Dieting, even though there are many ads out there presenting dieting as a health behavior, especially since they're repackaging everything now and calling it wellness. But there is plenty of research to indicate that dieting as a behavior, as an activity, is unhealthy. In particular, being on a diet is starting any diet is a significant risk factor for developing an eating disorder. It also is significantly associated with gaining the weight back, if any is lost, and gaining back more than you had in the beginning. All right, so there are definite issues with dieting behaviors. We do know that two-thirds of U.S. high school girls are trying to lose weight, often through dieting, through food restriction, and 1/3 think that they are overweight. The actual incidence of overweight, and overweight is typically defined by having a body mass index over 25. The actual incidence of overweight based on the BMI is 1/6. So more think they are overweight than they actually are, and that's contributed to by a variety of factors. One of them being that models and actors that are shown in media are usually very small and smaller than average. You know, size 0, when the average size in the United States is, I believe last I checked, it was still a size 14. And sometimes I'll say that in class and I'll have a student say, well, that can't be right. I'm a size 10. And I'll look at them and I'm like, yes, and you are smaller than average. And oftentimes they look like a thin, healthy individual to me. They're like, yeah, but I'm a size 10. I'm huge. Right? If you talk to people in the United States or in other places too, I'm sure, you probably have seen this, have heard this type of thinking. It is common and it often leads to dieting behavior, which can lead to unhealthy behaviors. Now, very importantly, in the class that I'm making this video for, I am not going to cover eating disorders as a separate topic. In the upper level class, I will go over eating disorders. I know in abnormal psychology, sometimes if there's time, eating disorders can be covered. So I'm not going to, they're in the textbook, but I'm not going to cover them in class just because of time. There's so many things we have to cram into the semester. Being on a diet is a huge risk factor for developing an eating disorder. I want you to know that finding.